Hello and welcome to Operation Paradise. I'm Joshua Hinkson. Thanks for joining us. This week, Minister of State in the Office of the Attorney General for Crime Prevention, Corey Lane, continues to speak about government's crime prevention strategy. Now, Minister Lane begins by thanking the men and women of the Barbados Police Service whose job it is to protect, serve and reassure. He goes on to explain what really is Operation Paradise.
Let me take this opportunity to genuinely, sincerely commend the efforts of the Barbados Police Service. I think that it is miraculous that we've had such a wonderful police service when we know at the discussion of government, in serious discussions, planning, trying to get innovative to ensure that we can give them a way better package. If I had to speak about what I believe in terms of the remuneration of police and some of the other sectors in our society as well, but particularly police on this occasion I'm talking, I believe I would have to fight back tears. So let me start there by making sure that I give that genuine, not rhetoric, but genuine kudos to the Barbados Police Service and the work that they're doing on a daily and nightly basis in this country. Now, Operation Restore is just but one, and it is preventative. It is not we happen upon a gun or whatever, but you've seen us take measures now where we're actually going for what we need to go for. People ask me if it's really party plan or not party plan. All the things that we're doing at a national level is really part of the national plan. So there are things that we will incorporate. Now, what people may want to look at is this thing called attribution, if it is something that we are directing it, and that is not the case. There are things that the police and other agencies and other organizations will be doing that we will draw in as part of the plan. Why? Because it must not be rhetoric when we say that it is a national plan, that we are in this together, that many hands make light work, many agencies make light work. And that is what the Operation Restore is but a good example of. This is something that we would have mentioned in our immediate action plan, and the police went out there and actioned it immediately. And so it was really, really good that they probably had it in their thing before or not, we don't know. But that is not the point. The point is that we are all in this together and we are going in the same direction. The whole idea with this is that Operation Paradise is the name of the national plan. So the Operation Restore, there are some tactical and intelligence programs in the immediate action plan that you haven't heard me speak to, that I will not speak to. Those are the ones that I can't speak to. Those are going on right now. I am very happy with what I am hearing. I've not gotten my evaluation report as yet, so that's why I was able to report on the street outreach, because they just sent in a progress report. Now, the Operation Paradise is ready to take us back to paradise. We can choose to be seen as a gun destination, or we can be seen as the Paradise Island of Barbados. I've been watching some documentaries in relation to crime and travel and things around the world recently, and Barbados is still featured as a very peaceful Paradise Island. Sometimes when they describe it, I tell myself I want to visit that country, and then I am reminded that I am in that place, that Paradise Island that people put on their bucket list to want to visit and want to be a part of, would love to live in. And that is why it hurts me that sometimes when I don't normally see them myself because I'm keeping focus. When I see some of the criticisms, they're not substantive. They're, oh, there's a portfolio and there's still crime. I thought crime would be at zero. When really and truly, those things go nowhere, because any right-thinking person knows that a reduction of crime, even in the medium term, does not mean a zero rating of crime. Yes, we would like to get to zero, but the idea is that efforts are being put in place to reduce. So the idea is that you won't be hearing what you were hearing before, and you won't be feeling like how you felt before. And what is hurtful is because I know that we politicize things and everybody wants the points and different things like that. But on this particular issue, I do believe that we got to come together on this, because it makes no sense spitting in the soup of state, because you may not have anything to inherit, or the next generation may not have anything to inherit if we don't get this right. From an economic, from a social standpoint, this is extremely important. So to make sure we're clear, because when we have a lot of names, we get mixed up. So the draft National Plan for Peace, Justice and Security is one of the documents that we would have used as a kind of like a core to start with. And that's a document that would have been spearheaded by then Attorney General Mia Mottley. a very visionary document, and I say so because a lot of the initiatives in there are still very, very relevant. What we're actually looking at doing now is all the different work, all the different pieces of things. When we bring it together, the National Plan on Crime Prevention will either be a standalone document, or what we'll be doing is taking that draft, updating it to 2023, and have a national, not draft now, but a national plan for peace, justice, and security, which goes beyond just crime prevention. It looks at the justice system. It looks at how we function as a society in a 21st century and beyond. So that's just to make sure we are clear, because there's lots of names and you could get confused. Operation Paradise, National Plan, Justice and Security, so it could get a little confusing. The code name is Operation Paradise. The plan that we speak to when we speak about the initiative is the National Crime Prevention Plan, but ultimately the final document encompassing all the research on culture, at-risk communities, everything, that big final document, I propose that it be the National Plan on Peace, Justice, and Security.
Now, Operation Paradise may be a government-led project. However, it requires consultation, cooperation, and collaboration from various groups within society. So how will civil society and the community be involved in these efforts?
I have been a community activist, and I am still a community activist, and I will always be a community activist. The community have been integrated in a number of ways, and that's because being in contact with them and hearing from them and working with them, really and truly their ideas and their feelings have really been the kind of compass and map in terms of how we've been able to get to where we are today with the plan. There are specific initiatives in here that actually came and birthed out of their ideas and their recommendations. We've been doing a program called Reasoning, where every Wednesday we go to a different community to reason with people, but to hear from them. In terms of the system that we're in, is really designed that you really get out in the community for a long period of time during like election seasons and these different things. But we thought it important to be able to be in connect and in communication with people constantly. And that is the Reasoning program. So we've touched Hoders Hill so far, the Haynesville area, Allen Land, Chapman Lane, Green Park Lane, Checker Hall, and we're moving around. I think we're going, Deacons next. So we're going to be moving around in all communities possible. And that is really informing where we're going with community. Now, whereas a lot of the initiatives, all 150 will touch community in some way or the other, there are 21 community-based programs. They include competitions and so on. So it may be board game, electronic games, sports, enhancement, competitions, training, community mediation, using trained mediators, community influencers, justice of the peace. All these different things are specifically based community initiatives that we have under this part of the national plan. Honestly speaking, it's a mixed response. So some people are skeptical because they've heard this, some of the talk and some of the rhetoric over the years. So they're like, we can wait and we can see how this thing can come out. But some are extremely excited. When I talk to people or people send me messages via every possible social media platform there is, one of the things that I am impressed by is the level of interest people have in solving crime in Barbados and preventing crime in Barbados. Sometimes I joke that we have so many crime experts in Barbados, we should not have crime, because I get hundreds of messages in terms of what we should be doing and what we should do. And one of the things I try to do is to show that appreciation to them, but also ask them to try to influence things in their sphere of influence. A lot of people look at the big picture. A lot of people want to talk to the man or the woman at the top. But what a lot of people forget or lack understanding in is that they can have that influence. And I use myself as an example. As a 15-year-old at-risk youth in this country, I looked up and I said, you know what, better could be done. I could do better. And that's why at 15 I started my youth group, Nature Fun Ranch, to address, to create what I wanted as a young person: fun, challenge, and adventure. Now, you may not go to that extent because you may not be that crazy, but what you can do is to look around you in your sphere of influence, your workplace, your school, your home, your community, your church. What can I do? How can I reach out to that at-risk young person or that person that could become at-risk in the future. What can I do? A lot of people look to government, that esoteric functioning agency called government of doing all things. But there are a lot of things that we can do individually, even if it is just mentoring one person, providing a device for one family, reaching out and showing love. It's a little scary because some of these people, you know, the face bend and the pants low and you feel they can kill you for saying morning. But just start by saying morning. Just start by saying hello with a smile and take it from there. There's lots of things that we can do. If we can do all of our empowering things in the program, what we are hoping in is really that their mind shift so that you don't go try to how to police the music. Because before in a society it was easier to police music when you had a national radio station or a national TV station and you could control that. Now with the advent of the internet and all the different levels of technology, that's not possible. So what we have to do is, yes, make sure that we have enforcement of the public airwaves and the public broadcast, which includes parties and fetes and so on. That is something that we are going to be looking at. We are not going to be looking at, we are going to be cracking down on. Let me be frank. But that cannot be the be-all and end-all because we got to make sure that there's no appetite for the type of music and drugs that there are out there. There are some direct drug programs, and we will be supporting the existing drug programs. There are some successful drug programs we have, but again, my concern is really the scale. A lot of these programs need to be more universal. They need to cover, if you're going to do schools, you got to do all schools, not 7 schools and 2 schools. If you're going to do communities, you want to do all communities or all at-risk communities, but still all communities. So we need to make sure that we can scale the program. So whereas there are a few direct and indirect programs for music and drugs, I think the more long-term, sustainable way to address it is really to shift their appetite for it than to try to remove it from the society. I like to say 50-50 we in this together, but the truth is that civil society has a greater role than government. One of the programs under government's purview right now is the One Family program. The value of it, not the cost, the value of it is about 160 million. About 90 of that is civil society, through time, talent, and treasure. Through time, volunteer time has a value. Through talent, there are lots of people that can add their talent, whether it is professional, whether it is skills-based, whatever, to that particular program. And then obviously the philanthropic foundations, charities, etc. So civil society has a major role. The biggest part of this program now in the crime program, although the value that we're asking them for is a little less in this program. This program is valued at about $90 million, with about $20 million financially, because I think we only calculate the financial part from civil society. The other thing is that one of the things that I like about this program is it doesn't seek to reinvent the wheel or start many organizations. A major part of this particular program is scaling up all existing effective programs. There are lots of programs out there that can really put a serious dent in what we are seeing in the society, but they just need that support. And it's not the best idea of government to go start things. We don't have a good reputation of starting and maintaining things. But there are lots of organizations. You know, we know the popular ones, the Boy Scouts, the Girl Guides, the service clubs, the Rotary, the Optimists, the Lions, the everybody. I think that government as a facilitator should look to scale up the involvement of all these organizations, known and unknown, national and grassroots. Just last night, Dale Haynes, the Seventh-day Adventist, gave us the pledge. He pledged the community group of the churches, I think 60 churches here, 21 throughout the region, and 4 community initiatives from the youth part of it alone. They're ready. He said, bring the paint, we paint in buildings. Bring anything. So that's just one example. The Christian Council, they set a number of meetings with us. They were clashing with Parliament and different things. But we are eager to get out there and speak to them, especially through the third sector. They've been, as I said before, there's so many people reaching out, requesting meetings, that my team right now is setting up a series of consultations with special interest groups and also at the national level so we can speak together or be in meetings forever, and that may defeat the purpose of implementation. So one of the things that we are again happy about is that all of these agencies of society are reaching out at this time to be a part of the initiatives.
Now, Minister Lane believes it's important to engage all stakeholders in society. As such, he recently met with a number of young influential Barbadians who could make a difference in changing the mindset and behaviors of young people, specifically those involved in crime and violence. The plan is to utilize social media and the influencers to promote positivity through a campaign called Live Wise.
Here we're meeting with some of the social media influencers in Barbados, not again for them to just to push our message, but what we want to do is to bring them on board, make sure we can share the initiatives with them, help them to help us in the consultative process so they could share it with their fans and their base to be able to give us that direction. One of the other things we realize we have to do too is to utilize social media a lot more to help us to nuance. One of the things that I'm finding is that we are losing the ability, or we've lost the ability to sense kind of subtle differences. So I may say I have an issue with the way how we have media leading stories, and people will interpret it as media coverage, and so they don't understand the nuances. So I believe that this crowd here, they may be in a better position, so I want to be able to utilize the whole of society. Remember, we're saying there's a whole of society situation, so we are actually calling on all parts of society, and these are a major part of that, so we couldn't leave them out.
We don't have all the answers, we don't have all the solutions, but it's a step in the right direction where we can use our influence to help guide people accordingly, there's a lot of angry people, that's the truth. People are angry, and if we could just do one right thing, to help a group of people understand that there's different ways to resolve conflict. There's so many more things we have to do, but I think that this session is a step in the right direction where we can help change and create and craft the minds of the young people along ourselves, have some more group discussions, some more focus groups where we can figure out where the stem of the problem comes from and what we can do to help resolve some of these issues.
I think it's a great initiative, something that's definitely needed. The strategy makes sense, using persons who already have a reach within the community to just speak to other persons and get the message out there. I think it's a great idea, and I'm really excited to see how it goes, but I think it should go well because we're all going to work together on it, and I think it should be fun.
We've seen a spike in gun violence over the last year or 2 years, so I think that these type of initiatives which will be community oriented, not only based from social media, but I think all of us that were here today have some way that we could help, whether it's on social media, within our communities, however we can help to bring down gun violence, to drive persons into a different direction in terms of crime, to speak positive things into their minds. I think that this is a great initiative.
I certainly think that using persons who have their own reach and their own specific influence on persons is a brilliant idea. I mean, government can't do it all from their end. There are young persons who don't listen to the news, who don't read the paper, who just aren't interested. So I think that this is a master plan by the government now in terms of reaching out to young persons so that they can reach other young persons who then will interact with their peers so that we can bring this gun violence and generally bring violence to an end in Barbados, and we can have that safer paradise that we all love and know.
Now you may ask, how will the results and outcomes of this plan be measured? Well, the Minister informs us of the statistical goal of Operation Paradise and encourages all of Barbados to join in this effort.
Obviously, any plan has a specific goal, and the specific goal is really to reduce homicides by 50% within 3 years, and other crimes as well. So they're very specific objectives and measurable objectives to each of the interventions, and then an overall objective. So that is what it looks like really and truly from a theoretical basis. But generally speaking, I don't like a lot of adjectives, but success for me is a peaceful civil society, Barbados with an excellent reputation, doing business, and a better life for all our people. The main and most important message for me coming out of this discussion is that there is no ministerial plan, there is no Attorney General plan, there is no Government of Barbados plan for crime. There is the Barbados National Crime Prevention Plan, which means that each and every one of you must sign up for duty. Even if that means we literally sign up and give you your cape and your spandex, because each of us must be a superhero in Barbados, keeping Barbados the type of country we will want to live in and others will want to come to live, work, and play. Barbados is one of the best, if not the best, small island developing state in the world. Let's keep it that way, and the only way we can keep it that way is understanding that crime is all of our business. If I had to choose, I would have to say, let's do our part.
This has been Operation Paradise. a discussion with Minister Corey Lane on the initiatives, goals and structure of government's crime prevention strategy. Let's do all we can to ensure Barbados remains a safe and peaceful paradise. I'm Joshua Hinkson. Thanks for your time.